Go out and stay in. So what does it mean to go out and what does it mean to stay in? If someone says that they go out, this usually means that they leave their house and they go to a restaurant or a club or a bar. They usually say go out when they're talking about evening or nighttime activities. Yeah, that's right, it's about nightlife. On the other hand, some people are more boring, less interesting, and they stay in. It means they don't go anywhere in the evening. They stay at their house. Hey, what did you do last night? I went out to an awesome bar. And what did you do last night? Oh, nothing. I just stayed in. Now, we can also use the phrasal verb go out to mean that two people are dating each other. That's right. In this case, we usually say go out with someone or go out together. For example, we can say John and Susie are going out, or John and Susie are going out together. Or we can say John is going out with Susie. This is a different meaning of go out. Another meaning of go out is when something turns off or when something stops working. We can say I was doing my homework and the lights went out. This means the lights stopped working. So today we talked about three meanings of go out. To go somewhere in the evening and not stay at your house. To date someone and to stop working. We also talked about stay in, which means that you don't leave your house. Run into and bump into. Usually we say run into someone or bump into someone, but really you could run into or bump into a thing also. Run into or bump into describe a situation when we meet someone unexpectedly and unplanned. We could say, I was at the mall and I ran into Matt. This means I saw Matt and I didn't expect to meet him there. Run into and bump into are synonyms. Now, run into and bump into are a good example of phrasal verbs that when we use them in the metaphoric meaning, they kind of make sense, but we don't use them very often in the direct meaning. So we could say that I ran into the wall. This means I was running and I hit the wall. Or for example, you can say you were walking and you bumped into the table. It means when you were walking, you accidentally touched the table with some part of your body, and this was unplanned or unexpected. But usually we use it in the metaphoric meaning, meaning that you meet someone unexpectedly. Make into. Now there are a lot of different examples I could use to describe this phrasal verb, but the clearest example is when we make a book into a film. So make into basically describes when we take one thing and we change the form of this thing to create another. In this case, we have words and a story in the form of a book, and we take it and change it to make something new, a film. We could also make the wood into a table, change the form of the wood and create something new with a different form. We might also say the war made him into a man, meaning that before the war he wasn't a man, and after the war he was a man. Another example of this phrase is he took a small argument and made it into a big deal. So here again we can see form changing. We see that first there was a small argument and he changed the form of this to create something new, a big argument. To come around. Come around has three different meanings that we're going to talk about today. The first one is just physical movement. Come means to move near someone, the speaker. And around, well, like a circle. So for example, if you're in the front yard of the house and I'm in the backyard, I might tell you, come around, meaning go in a circle around the house until you come to where I am. The second meaning of come around could be to go to a place unexpectedly or without a plan. For example, we might tell a person, you should come around sometime. This means you should visit me. This means you should visit me. But it doesn't tell us an exact day or time. We might say, have you seen Mike recently? And a person might tell us, he comes around sometimes, which means that he visits from time to time, but we don't have a particular day or time or schedule for his visits. The third meaning of come around is when someone changes their opinion to agree with us. So for example, who wants to eat Mexican food tonight? Mike doesn't want to now, but I'm sure he'll come around. So this means that I'm sure later he will change his mind. To hang out. Now sure, there are a couple different meanings of this phrasal verb, but there's one main meaning, That's the one we're going to focus on. First, let me mention one of the other meanings. Of course, to hang means to put an object over another object, like when you hang your coat when you come in the door, or maybe hang a picture on the wall. If something is hanging out, that means that it's hanging and part of it is sticking out of another object. For example, your pocket. I could say, you have $5 hanging out of your pocket. This means I see that part of the $5 is in the pocket and part of the $5 is out of the pocket, and it's hanging on the pocket. But the real meaning of hang out, as we usually use it in speech, is to spend time doing something. It might be with other people, it might be alone, it might be at a party, it might be at school. It doesn't matter where you are, who you're with, or what you're doing, you can always use hang out to mean spend time doing something. I like to hang out with my friends. How often do you hang out with your friends? Someone can call me when I'm at home alone watching TV and they can say, "Hey Chris, what are you doing?" I can say, "I'm just hanging out." They can call me when I'm at a party with 1,000 people and say, "Hey Chris, what are you doing?" And I can say, "I'm just hanging out." Hang out is really a universal word that we use a lot. Today we're talking about a lot of different phrasal verbs. They all have a very similar meaning, so we're going to group them into one video, but there are actually several of them. To understand this group of phrasal verbs, first of all, we're going to talk about just the verbs and just the particles. So we're going to talk about 3 different verbs that we can combine with 3 different particles to make phrasal verbs that basically mean the same thing. And the verbs are to drop, to stop, and to come. The particles are by, in, and through. So we could say to drop by or to drop in. They both mean to stop in a place unexpectedly or to visit someone unplanned. Could also say stop by, stop in, or stop through, like to visit a place in an unplanned way, and usually for a short period of time. You could also say to come by or to come through. All of these verbs that we just talked about mean to stop in a place, to visit a place, or maybe even just to visit a person, unexpectedly, unplanned, and for a short period of time. So thanks for dropping by my channel, and I hope you stop by tomorrow to see the next video. To sit in on. We use this a lot when we talk about schools, universities, and different types of lessons. I might ask my friend who's a teacher, "Hey, can I sit in on your lesson?" This means, can I be present? Can I attend the lesson? But not attend the lesson as a student, attend the lesson as a guest, just to watch. But we don't have to use this verb only about lessons. We could use it about meetings, we could use it about events, we could use it about a lot of different things. For example, did you sit in on the meeting this morning? Even if you don't know what's happening, sometimes it's useful just to sit in on something. Don't forget to press like, press subscribe, and leave a comment under this video. To root for. Now again, this might be a little bit confusing because it doesn't have anything to do with the word root. To root for someone or to root for a team means that you want that person or team to win. If you're watching a football match with your friends, you can ask, "Who are you rooting for?" And they will tell you which team they want to win. When that team does something good, they will probably cheer. And when that team does something bad, they will probably boo. What about you? Who do you root for? Most people root for different teams in different sports. In the United States, a lot of people root for the local team. Almost every big city has a sports team, and people who live in that city root for that team. To meet up. Now, a lot of times with phrasal verbs, people say, "Chris, why can't I just say meet?" And the answer is you can. A lot of phrasal verbs add the particle up to a verb to give it a small extra meaning. Sometimes this means that we need to start doing something or do something faster, and in other situations it means something different. The phrasal verb to meet up is really the same as to meet, but the verb to meet can be a little confusing. To meet could be the first time when you meet someone, or it could be just a meeting. Meet could also describe when 2 people come to the same place at the same time, but maybe don't have a meeting there. They just meet there. So yeah, it's confusing to know if we're meeting someone the first time or if we've already met them and we're just meeting them. The phrasal verb to meet up helps us with this. To meet up only means that we already know the person and we're meeting them for a meeting or we're meeting them at a place. not the first time. So it's wrong to say, I met up John last night. Instead, we should say, I met John last night, because it's the first time. If I'm just talking about meeting at a place, then I can say, hey, let's meet up at Starbucks. Or, we met up yesterday. Or, let me know when you can meet up. To stick up for. This verb has nothing to do with sticks. And it doesn't mean that you stick to something. It's completely different. To stick up for someone, or to stick up for something, means that you support them and you protect them when other people try to hurt them, or when other people try to say bad things about them. So for example, John said that Dave was a jerk, but Sarah stuck up for him. This means Sarah said that he wasn't a jerk. Sarah protected his honor or his name. What about you? Is there anyone that you stick up for? Why do you have to stick up for them? What do people say? Do people stick up for you? Write a comment down below and let me know. And while you're at it, press like and press subscribe. To butt in and to butt out. Now what does butt mean? Well, butt is the thing that you sit on. When you sit in a chair, the thing above the chair is your butt. So what does it mean to butt in or to butt out? To butt in or butt out is usually about conversation. So if someone is talking and you want to start speaking but they haven't finished yet, you can say, excuse me, can I butt in? It's like, can I interrupt you? Or maybe you want to get information about something and another person thinks that this is not your business. He can tell you, hey, butt out, which means don't put your nose in my business. So in both cases, butt in or butt out, it's about interrupting in some way. When we butt in, we interrupt someone or something. And when we butt out, we stop interrupting. To tag along. Now you've probably heard the word tag before. It can describe a label on clothes. Here, my shirt has a tag. But tag could also be a game that kids play, where you touch a person and now that person needs to go find another person and touch that person. This game is called tag. And now online, people can also use the verb tag about photos. When they select that a person is present in a photo, we say that they tagged that person in a photo. So really we can think of the verb to tag as something like to touch or to select. And the verb to tag along describes when a person comes with us, with a group, or with another person, but he was not invited or he was not part of the plan. Now this doesn't always have to be negative, especially if the person asks if he can tag along. For example, you and your friends are going to the cinema, and your little brother says, hey, is it okay if I tag along with you guys? Or is it okay if I tag along? Or maybe someone asked you who came with you to the cinema, and you say, me, John, Susie, oh, and my little brother tagged along, which means that he came, but that wasn't part of the original plan. To pitch in. Now, I'm not going to take a lot of time right now to explain what pitch means because it has a lot of different meanings. But to pitch in means to help, or maybe to contribute your part. So we can say, everybody needs to pitch in. This means everybody needs to help. Or maybe we're ordering a pizza for 3 people and the pizza costs $9. And we say, each person needs to pitch in $3. Thanks for watching Daily Phrasal Verbs with Chris and Mary Coase. Don't forget to press like, press subscribe, and leave a comment down below.